Alright guys, so we're back in the garage again with the 454. This is day, who knows what day this is now. It's probably like 7 or 8, but so I have her here. She's actually pretty much together right now, but unfortunately she's gonna have to go all back apart again. So pretty much what you guys have not seen, let's see, what have you guys not seen yet? The grips have been installed, which took a little bit of TLC. Had to take an angle grinder to this and cut this tube down a little bit for this one to fit on here correctly. But it's on there, and you see the throttle works okay, just fine. The other one matched up, although I don't know if I put the correct one on the correct side, because that one looks shorter than that one, but this one looks longer than this one. But, you know, it is what it is. I made it work, so I'm not too mad about it. They look great. They feel comfortable, and they're really nice. Clutch cable works really well. The brake up here works really well. You know, it does start pretty good, which I'll run it right now for a little bit here. Let's see if it actually starts or not. But see, that's the only thing I'm trying to figure out is I think there's a short in this hand grip or something, because it's not, I push the starter button and it's not doing anything, and I'm not sure why. So, but sometimes I turn it off and I turn it back on. I hit the button. I gotta charge the battery too, because that's why I need to look at it. But you can see it runs. So it is running, so that's good. But the battery does need to be charged up, and then I'll get to that in a second, why I need to do that. I also put a clamp on the front of this because I'm actually waiting. The actual clamp that actually clips the heat shield on is coming. I ordered that. The other side, the other back clamp here actually rusted off the heat shield, so my dad actually riveted this on here, which in his infinite wisdom, which he's awesome at, like doing DIY stuff and getting stuff to work. So this actually works really well. It holds on there. The front clamp on this one's on there. I got a new oil cap from an 86, another 86 that I found on eBay. So this one actually threads into there, so we're good there. Ordered some parts for this guy because it's obviously just held in here by a bolt. There's a clip and stuff that are supposed to go in here to hold that. I got some exhaust gaskets coming too for these pipes, because I think that's also where some of the rattling is coming from too, because there's a spacer, a little rubber piece that's supposed to go in here, but there is no rubber in there at all anymore. I don't have the covers on yet because, again, like I said, I have to take this bike apart because I believe we're getting it down to where the timing is still being an issue inside the motor. For some reason, I've been trying to go through, diagnose some of the problems. At first, I thought it was the battery wasn't charging, so I thought that was what wasn't, it wasn't powering the bike on. I thought the starter was the issue because of it getting hot and then it wasn't working correctly. I thought the starter solenoid wasn't working because it wasn't feeding enough power through or something. I thought the regulator rectifier was burned out because, it wasn't charging the battery. But I replaced all that, and then I just put a voltmeter to it last night. When the bike is running, the bike is charging the battery. It's saying that the battery is going from 12.8 volts, and then it's jumping up to 13.3 or 13.4 volts. So I know the stator is working. It's sending power to the battery, and it's fine. However, when talking to my brother, is right now in the process of rebuilding his Blazer, his 91 Chevy Blazer, and he's having the same issue, or he had the same issue in the past where the timing was an issue. And if the timing is not correct, because the previous owner did say he was messing with the timing chain, which I also put a new tensioner in there. It's a manual tensioner. And I tightened the chain up. Per one of my friends that has done this before, he said just make it firm and don't overdo it. As soon as you feel resistance, you might want to do a quarter or a half turn, and then it should be fine after that. However, it's still causing an issue. So what I think is that the timing chain slipped or is loose, and it's not top dead center. The cams are not in the correct spot, and when the piston's driving up and down, it's not firing at the correct spot where the spark plug is. It should be firing when the cylinder hits the top of here where the spark plug's at and ignites it. It should be firing up here, and I think it's struggling because when it's cold, the bike starts no problem when the battery's good, obviously. But when the engine is hot, which I found out yesterday riding around for 10 or 15 minutes, and then I shut it off for a couple minutes and then tried to restart the bike, which you think, hey, the bike's been running, it's easier to start when the engine's warm, not when it's cold. And this isn't the case with this bike, so the timing needs to get checked. So I need to get in there. So pretty much I need to pull the seat off, the gas tank off, the coolant tank, the reservoir, or the coolant reservoir tank, the regulator rectifier, the evap system, which is here, the spark plug boots, the ignition coils, and the thermostat, which is on the other side that connects, and plus like the radiator hoses and all that need to get disconnected. So that means, and then that means draining the coolant right here with this bolt has to come out to drain that. The oil is probably going to have to come out of it also, because I don't want to, you know, get all messy with it trying to leak oil out of this thing. I believe also to adjust the timing, you have to go, what I've been searching up on YouTube with the one or two guys that have done it. It's under this cap here. You need to take this cap off and this cap off and put a ratchet in here, and then this is your sight for the wheel, and the top dead center line will be right in the sight here. That's when you know the engine's at top dead center, and then you can go and adjust the timing chain in that and get it in the correct spot. So gonna do some more TLC to this guy, so I'm gonna get to it. Should take me about 30 minutes to get everything stripped off, hopefully, but we'll time it and see how it goes. See you guys in a bit. Okay guys, so we're back at the bike. So as you can see, we are all stripped down here. Tank's gone, seat's gone, ignition coil that sits there is gone, coolant tank, regulator, thermostat, all the lines for the vacuum. This evap system that went here is gone. So pretty much now I'm at the top of the block. So this is what I'm gonna do. So the only thing I need is a deep well to pull out the spark plugs, and then I could start going in. And I believe the first step would be there's 6 bolts, 1, 2, 3, and then there's 3 on the other side, 4, 5, and 6. 6 is over here. So you got to take those 6 off first, and that loosens the top piece of metal here from the top of the block. And the gasket actually sits right here. As you can see, the rubber, it's right here. So this should hopefully loosen that up so I can pull this off the top, and then I can get at the timing chain. The only other thing I'd have to do is loosen that timing chain tensioner when I come to it. So I got to get that off too, but we're going to keep on going. All right, just to clarify that I'm thinking this is a timing issue. You see the spark plugs in my hand here. And the one on my left, the left one is from the left cylinder, the right one is from the right cylinder. As you can see, the right cylinder is a lot more black. I'm trying to find a way to support the camera and shine this light on there at the same time, but as you can see, that is significantly more dirty and looks like it's not burning than the left cylinder is, which is this one, which looks absolutely fine. This is like the normal color and everything, what you would get on a spark plug, and these are both brand new spark plugs. I just bought these like a week and a half ago. So you can see that that one's significantly more darker than this one. So I'm still thinking it's a timing issue, so we're gonna dig into it. Okay, after a little more work, we got the head gasket, or the top cylinder gasket off. I mean, the gasket's still right here, but I got a new one of those. Here's your timing chain, okay? So what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna come on the left side of the motor here. And there's these 2 caps. The big one here, which goes right here, and the little one, which goes up here. You're gonna take a flathead screwdriver, bigger the better, because it's got a very wide girth for a screwdriver to get in there. And you have a nut right there. So you're gonna put a socket on this nut, and then there's the timing wheel here. So when you see that wheel, there's a groove in there with a C, which I'll show in a second once I turn it, once I get it in the correct spot. I'll tell you that's top dead center. If it lines up with this groove that's right there on the bottom of this right here, if it lines up with the groove, then that means that the bike is at top dead center, which means that timing chain should be in the correct spot. And the cams should also show that. We'll find that out in a second. I'm going to almost guarantee that that's not going to be lined up correctly. So pretty much to get that to this point, what I didn't show, there's 6 bolts, 3 here and 3 there that I pulled off. And there's these 2 tubes that are in the middle here, which I believe are for the antifreeze to go up and out to the radiator, which I had to take off also. They are over here. And pretty much to get those guys off, they're just, you know, 2 Phillips head screws that are sitting in there. And one of them came out with a screwdriver, the other one I used the drill and I got it out. And so there's also these 6 bolts, which they have these little like cap washers also. So make sure you keep an eye on them and where they go accordingly. So let me go ahead and find top dead center and I'll come back in just a second. Okay, so now as you can see, we found our mark, the line with the T in it, noting us that this is the top dead center of the motor. This is where this should be at. However, the line doesn't look like it's lined up in the groove, so we're definitely off by at least a little bit here. Also, the cams should be how they are in the upright position, according to what I've read. And as I'm looking at it, I'm looking at this one is up, that one looks to be up. However, those 2 look like to be like they're in the down position or the sideways position. So I gotta do a little more reading, figure out how these are supposed to actually be set, but I will come back in a second.